my lovely friends, this is Grace and welcome to process video number 105. These are the times to remember, and this will be my last video or layout, video and layout using my August homemade kit. If you haven't seen my homemade kit yet, make sure that you check out the description below because it will have a link to the items that I had pulled together for this specific kit. So because this is my last layout, I'm really running out of papers, and so I kind of wanted to do or wanted to use most of them up, if not all of them, on this layout. And I felt like the best way for me to work with scraps, specifically with the items that was left with my kit, would be to just kind of make them strips and use them in the background. And so this particular paper was still one of those that were 12 by 12. And so I just pulled a bunch of them, or I just pulled a couple strips of them. I didn't really measure, how thick and how long these strips are. As you can see, I'm just adhering or laying them kind of in a stagnant, no, not stagnant, but kind of a ladder type. They're not all in one direction, and some of them are smaller than others. And so yeah, I'm just tearing them. Okay, so one of the new ways that I found kind of fun way to tear is to just lay your paper or put a ruler on top of your paper and then pull it that way. And I think that I like this way. I know this is not a new thing. I'm sure some people have done this before, but I just tried it not a long time ago, and I like there's the subtle tear, so it's not really obvious, but there's just that little design of the tear, and I like that. Look. So I am doing a bunch of layering with this 4 2x3 photos that I have. These are photos of me and my daughter, and one Sunday we just happened to both have curly hair. I curled her hair before church, and I did mine as well, and then we were waiting for some of our family members to get in the car, and so I figured I'd take a picture of her and I with our um, prettied up hair. And so we were just in the car waiting for some of our family members, and I just decided to do that in smaller size instead of the regular 4x6 because they're photos from my phone. So um, like I said, this layout was my last page, and I really just wanted to kind of use up whatever piece of paper that I have left over, and so there was a lot of layering that went into this page. As you can see, I used my final piece of the vellum with the stars on this page, and then I layered a bunch of other papers on top of that, and then matted my photo with another pattern paper. And so I just decided to ink up all of the edges of the strips of paper just to kind of give them a little bit more body, and also to distinguish them from one another. So I'm just doing that here, and I'm sorry that my video keeps on getting out of focus when I move things around. You have that white background, and so the camera doesn't know where to focus, and so it gets out of focus because of the background that is on that I'm using on this page. And so I just decided to kind of flip them all over at once so I can adhere the tape on there. And um, just a side note, if you don't have long nails like I do, this strips of adhesive is not your best friend. It was just so hard for me to pull out the tape from the adhesive because I didn't have nails, and so it was so hard for me to pull that out. And later on, well, not in this video, but when I was crafting a little later, I realized that I could use the other side of my the Cameo tool that I have that I use for, you know, grabbing the cuts, and has a sticky on one side, and then it has kind of this very skinny spatula on one side. Well, I realized that spatula could be used to peel these double-sided adhesive tape. So that's what I was using for the rest of my projects, using this adhesive tape. But it took me a while to figure out that there was another way to make it all easier for me. So I wanted to add a little bit more emphasis on my photo collage, so I used the gold photo corners, and I'm just adding that here. And then I will adhere some more adhesive on there, and inking up some more pattern papers. And then because this is vellum, and there are specific spots of it that will still show on my page, I decided to make sure that I put the adhesive in the center, where I know that my photo and all of the layered pattern papers will go, so that it will cover up the adhesive and it won't show. And so the background is really busy, and I wanted a pretty simple title here, but I'm going to figure out where it's going to go, because my page is already super busy. But before I do that, I'm going to add some pen lines to the edges of my white cardstock to kind of ground the page. I decided to double up my lines there, and I like that there's lines to ground it, but at the same time the lines are imperfect, which balances or coordinates with the imperfect way that I had layered all those paper strips in the back. So I wanted to use one of these long titles that is a sticker sheet from KI Memories, but I didn't know where to put it. If I put it on one of the strips, because it's a 12 by 12, it was too long, so it would not cover the whole part of it. So I decided to use one of this 4 by 6 papers from Echo Park, but it was so big as well, and so I decided to just cut out that shape. Well, I'm going to go and cut it up in pieces and decide to put it in two different areas, but then it just didn't seem right to have it going across my page and being cut off by the photos. So I cut that out, and so the bottom one will be where I'm going to handwrite my journaling, and then this one is going to be where my title is. And I thought it was big enough for my title, but I'm going to end up just basically, you're really not going to see much of that shape when everything is said and done, and I've adhered my title on it. But it is what it is, and this was my final page. So I was kind of at the point where I just need to get this page done and be done with this kit. I don't know if you guys ever feel that way with your kits, but I mean, there have been times where I've been really inspired by a kit and I get a lot done. And I mean, all said and done, I was inspired with this kit. I love the colors that I was able to use, but I think 9 layouts was my max for this specific papers and products. So here I am, I'm trying to use, just cut up all of the words and then just make that go onto my little block there. And of course it was too big, and then there's that space, and so I'm going to try to figure out what to do with that space, how to fill that up. And I'm just going through all of my stuff, what was left of my kit, and just kind of figuring out what else can I put in here. And I wanted to see if I can add some chipboards. There was those gem or diamond shaped chipboards, and there were two of them, one smaller, one bigger one, so it would have been perfect, but it was just the big one was just a little too big for that space. And then I remembered I had these gold triangles that I could use as arrows for my page, and that's what I did. I just adhered it there to fill up that spot, and also it coordinated with the gold photo corners that I have on my around my photos. And then I remember that I had buttons, pink buttons that I think I only used once with this whole kit. And so I decided I'm going to pull that out. Pink worked well because we're talking about the girly page. And then I decided, oh, I can try out some flowers. But the thing is, the background was just too busy that if I added any more of the paper flowers, it was just going to be, in my eyes anyways, just such a busy page. And so I just decided to just add those pink buttons just to add a little bit more dimension. But then at the same time, they're not too big that they're um, overpowering the rest of what's already on the page, because remember, I've adhered everything else, so I can't like move things around if I really wanted to add the flowers. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with not adding the flowers. I'm happy with the background and being able to use a lot of pattern papers on this page. I tend to hoard a lot of scraps, so for me to be able to use up the scraps, it makes me feel better. And then I decided to add some twine to just two of the buttons, so one on top and then one on the bottom right. And then my video, I think, is gonna cut out. Yes, it did. So I did add my journaling handwritten, and then I stamped the date, and then I also added a little bit more of some splatters of color shine. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye, guys.